All right. Well, after many failed attempts and retries here, we're finally here, Nate. We have made it another episode of Minnesota Left-Handers podcast. How are you doing, my friend? Is the frustration left your body?
I hope so. Can you hear me well now?
Yes, I got you. Life is
All right,
good.
good. Happy to be here. We wanted to start this episode 45 minutes ago, but we're here now. Gonna talk a little golf, gonna talk a little uh, pro golf, a little bit of golf media. It's a weird time in Minnesota. Golf is wrapping up. I saw a post at the Wilderness at Fortune Bay, way north Tower, Minnesota, up on Lake Vermilion. They're pulling pins today. It's done. That far north, season's over. So we're kind of seeing the end right before our very eyes here.
Well, and for those that aren't from Minnesota, aren't familiar with Minnesota, we got a big cold. This is going to stretch into the Midwest and even down to the south. But yeah, we got a big cold front coming in. I think those guys are talking snow this next week, and temperatures in the teens in the mornings and overnight up there. So I'm heading up there tomorrow after the Friday after the Wild home opener. I'm going to that game. After that, we're going up north to go do some more hunting. So
Oh, all right. Well, that's gonna be good. Did you lose me?
whatever you're doing with your mic just made it worse again.
I don't know. I'm not sure
Oh my
what we're doing
gosh.
here. This is just a this has been a tough one here tonight. I'm not sure that you can even hear me. How about this? Probably still a no go if you can hear me.
No, I can hear you. It's just super loud and tin canny, but let's keep going.
Let's do this. I wonder if this is gonna make things better. Is this any better? Still no go. I don't know what Zoom is telling me here. Um,
Well, I just turned down my desktop audio. Let's just roll with this and get through what we're gonna get through here and see what's going on.
all right, I'm assuming this is a little better now. You
This
can
is a lot better.
not tin canny.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to keep jostling with this throughout the episode, so bear with me on the audio. We'll get it figured out. Um, Today, I think we want to talk about a few things. Just because Wilderness at Fortune Bay is closing doesn't mean that the rest of the state is, but it means that fall cold weather golf is coming. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Golf Digest has to say about cold weather golf. Um, you got a little bit of LIV that we need to discuss. An odd golf media day. The foreplay pod, you familiar with those guys? Riggs out of Barstool,
Oh yeah.
and then the guys at No Laying Up. There's an interesting sort of back and forth, not between the two of them, two really separate incidences, and then Prize Picks. So what do you say? What do you say we start with this LIV quote that stuck out to you from Graham McDowell?
Well, let's first before we jump into that, just an update on we're not sure. It's obviously a simulator event this winter. We're going to be putting something on that should be coming out here shortly. Still working out some of the details with some of the places that we're looking at putting this together with. So we'll give you guys more of an update on that stuff as our events and stuff like that unfold and develop and stuff like that. So we'll eventually get you guys up to date and up to speed on that our next event here and stuff like that. But yes, I want to jump right into Graham McDowell's tweet here or comment to Golf Digest. And the quote goes, "The word official has to go away from official world golf ranking if they don't take care of the players out here."
I don't know if I agree with that.
Quick analogy, and I used this before we started rolling here. You put me at Riverwood with a bunch of 12-year-olds, and I call it the official Minnesota state rankings. Me against these 12-year-olds, and I'm number one on top of these guys. I'm playing with a fixed field because I'm not playing with guys like you or Mike or my buddy Ryan that I'm playing up against because they weren't allowed to come. And because my little 12-year-old golf meet is so well known that I'm the best because I'm not playing against the best.
And you're saying that's what's happening with the PGA Tour guys,
right? Because I mean, they're missing Cameron Smith. Okay, I mean, easily number one, number two, he's a top 5 guy no matter what gameplay. God, I was just on the LIV's website, and it was kind of nice. Just it was fun to look at this page because when I was looking at what was it, the leaderboard or the standings, it had. Oh, here we go. It was just the players. I was looking through it and seeing a lot of familiar names that I miss watching play. It was a little saddening, but also nice to see at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Kepka and DJ and
I miss those guys.
Here's the point that I would like to make. The official World Golf Ranking has a system in place for how they rank players, right? It works. It's worked for years. LIV's out here creating their own thing. Should they have to fit into the World Golf Ranking system, or should this established system have to bend and break to them?
It's outdated now, is what it is. It's not broken. It's not failed. It's just outdated.
Because of LIV's existence.
There's a new. I mean, they'd still be in the World Golf Rankings had the PGA said, "Hey, you're not allowed to play with us." They'd still be a part of it. But because they're not recognized, because they played a different tour, the best player. Let's say the Olympics comes around. Summer Olympics come, and then all of a sudden Cameron Smith is a gold medalist. He's the best player in the world, whether he plays for LIV or PGA or DPA or MIA or whatever. No matter which tour he plays for, he is the best in the world because he's a gold medalist, first in the world against all the players ever. But guess what? He's not anywhere on the world ranking because he's part of LIV.
I just my issue is who should bend and break for whom? It seems that, like I said in our last episode, this seems like an egregious oversight by Norman and Co. over there.
You're making it about something it's not, though. I mean, I think that Olympic thing was a really, really good analogy.
Well, I think, you know what I think? I think we should let the viewers decide. The audience, our vast.
Everyone is so pro PGA. It's Tom Kim would not be a number one golfer. Have half these guys still be golfing in the PGA. Okay, so let's all get off Tom Kim. Great golfer, top 10 golfer in the world right now, but not number one. He's not even playing against some of the best guys right now.
The FedEx Cup said no. I agree with you on. That I agree with you. Okay. All right, what do you say we move on to?
Yeah. I mean, we can beat our heads against the wall about this LIV PGA thing, and I'm glad you're starting to turn into a PGA guy, so I can talk to someone. Doesn't make sense.
This is good.
All right, cold weather. Minnesota, tower closing, everything's going on. Leaves are changing. It's harder and harder to find your ball unless you golf in the morning before they blow all the leaves off the course. Them dang leaves hide them balls, dude. It's hard to see them. I'm never on the fairway. I'm in the rough digging through the leaves looking for my ball.
I will add this about my round that I talked a little bit about in our last episode toward the end, the Lehman course. Cragons, they're blowing all the leaves off. They got those big Buffalo turbines up at the Lehman course. They blow all the leaves away, so it's a nice pristine course. Although I did hear that they're shutting it down very soon, maybe even as soon as the weekend. Why mess with a new course? Why stress it out? So I think they're shutting that one down. But you got to find those courses that either don't have trees or they're
Some
out there blowing
links.
it up. It's that time of year. Um, but I sent you a link,
Yep,
Golf
got it up.
Digest, um, how to handle cold weather, and much of it talks about um, your ball not going as far because it's cold out, and how it's illegal to warm up your golf ball and layering, and some of that is definitely true. Rather than wearing the big parka, you got to layer your clothes. But I will say this: you ever use those hot hands deals
Oh
that
yeah,
you
I'm a deer hunter.
shake? They create the heat. Yeah, yeah, I knew you know all about that. Bam, that's the answer. Keep those hands warm, and then you throw them in the big choppers. Oh, toasty.
I'm not much of a cold weather golfer. I know I've golfed a few times with you where it's just balls to the wall with you, and if it's not raining or too windy, I'm going. And me, on the other hand, if it's a little too chilly, I love a good game of golf, but I love playing it when it's comfortable. I don't like being uncomfortable and trying to play golf because I'm already bad at golf. So to make a worse case worse, more worse, worser, it's not good, not good.
More than that, I think you're right. I'm a diehard, but more than that, I think it's my coaching that I've honed my cold weather golf knowledge in that we know what springs can be like around here. We start our season oftentimes like April 1st. It can be nasty until May 1st, you know. This last spring, and this was a tough spring, if you remember back to what this spring was, we were supposed to tee off in one of our meets at 9 a.m. It was 29 degrees outside. They wouldn't let us do it. They waited a half hour until it was 32 degrees and
Oh,
then sent us out.
above freezing, thank God.
Yeah, no kidding. So I've honed my skills. Have you heard of Buff, like the neck gaiter company?
Yep.
Yeah, you throw a buff on, you got to keep that neck warm. That's the answer. Layers, hot hands, and the buff, and then it's like it's tropical. That's the way to go.
I like this one. Leave
Ready
the
for that cold
flask
weather.
at home. A nip of whiskey
So
might seem like a great way to warm up when it's a chilly day on the course, but it actually does more harm than good. Alcohol lowers your core body temperature.
which I never knew. I guess I wasn't aware that that was true because I read this too.
It's weird because my cheeks get warm.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, I don't understand that phenomenon. Maybe that's more than we're able to dive into here on this podcast. But interesting. Did not know that.
So I don't know. There's so much you could talk about. So you're talking sneaky day in the golf world. Were you referring to that post by Graham McDowell?
Well, in part, when I said golf media, you know, we're just trying to we're just a young early golf podcast trying to get our feet under us. But there are some giants out there. The Foreplay Pod, the Barstool Bit. Um, No Laying Up is another one. We've cited the Fire Pit Collective at one point. These are some giants in the golf podcast world. And the news came out today with the Foreplay guys I don't know. Are we a family friendly outfit here? I guess I don't know. It is what it is. This is their name. They are the Foreplay Pod guys. Um, what would it be? PGA, is it PGA Tour 2K23? Like what's the game for PlayStation?
Yeah, I
for
think
X.
so.
Whatever, to the 2023, where you can pick your player, you can be one of the guys from the foreplay pod. So like you can be Riggs, you can be Frankie Borelli,
That's
you can
funny.
be Trent. Like you don't have to just be like a pro. You can be some guys who talk about golf for a living like we're doing here. It's it How do you feel about that?
Someday I'll be on there, man. Someday.
Yeah?
They're like, do you want an over 100 golfer or do you want under 100 golfer? And I'd be that
Right.
over. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and that's part of the bit with Trent is he's got a series out there. His whole goal is to break 90 and they're filming like a bunch of rounds. He's just trying to break 90. And so they're not like stellar golfers,
Which is awesome.
but
I love that. I mean, if you're anything more than that,
and I do too. I like that because they're just a few guys who you can love this game and not be great at it. That's what I like about golf. Um, but for me, it's the no laying up guys, like as are my favorite of the bigger podcast crew, because they seem to be doing more. They seem to be doing interesting stuff, and they released their trailer today for their tourist sauce series. It's season 8. They go and this one's in. They're calling it. It's in Scandinavia, so they're crossing Finland and Sweden and Norway and playing a bunch of courses up there and interviewing a bunch of locals. It's that series is fantastic. So that was a big day. That their episode 1 comes out in 2 weeks. For me, it's appointment television. I don't know what that says about me, but it's like a YouTube series that I like am glued to. I'll be getting the kids to bed. 8 p.m. comes around. I'm sitting down watching this thing. So that was big news. And then to find out that the foreplay pod guys are going to be on a PlayStation game, it was kind of funny. So just a couple of news and notes from the golf world there that I thought were kind of interesting.
Okay, I found it. So this is what I was looking at here. When I was looking at, before we went on air, we were talking Prize Picks and Live and where these guys are playing. So let's talk a little bit about the course. Live guys are this. They're playing a tournament this weekend. Now these guys only play 54 holes, so they don't start on Thursday like the PGA does. They got the shotgun start. We kind of talked about that stuff. They got some team stuff going on. They got, like I said, 54 holes, but they're playing in Saudi Arabia at the Royal Greens Golf and Country Club. And we were trying to find a scorecard of this. We couldn't really find a scorecard, but we were just kind of flipping through some of the holes, and I got some of it up right now. Hole one's par 4, 360 yards. That's manageable for a guy like me and you. 394 yards, 208 par 3. That's not a par 3 I'm too comfortable with. When I got to pull out, the 5 hybrid, try and stick one short of the green and roll it up there. It's not happening for me. I don't really have much of that dynamic loft, if you know what I'm saying. Getting down on that ball to make it go up. But a par 5, 569 yards. That's long.
That's a beast.
A par 4, 437 yards. That's long. Another par 4, 470, 339. Now this would be a fun par 3, 153 yards, like that. But I mean, some of these holes are ridiculous, but it looks like a great course, out in the desert. What I found interesting flipping through the pictures was there's lights all over this course,
Really?
like stadium lights. So I'm assuming that they play at night out there.
So are we gonna get some prime time? Like, I don't know how the time changes. By the way, quick audio check. How am I doing? We
You're doing
okay?
great. You're doing great.
Okay, cool. Um, I don't know the time change and the time difference between us and Saudi Arabia. I'm not up on my time change game, but I would be interested to know that like when it's noon here or something on Saturday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon here on Saturday. If it's 8 p.m. there and we're getting some golf under the lights, that would be kind of cool.
Dude, wouldn't that be sweet?
Kind of that. I would tune in just kind of for the novelty of that.
So now what this all ties into is prize picks. So we were going to talk prize picks and PGA. Sorry, I had my hockey game up there. If you're all wondering, Colorado is leading Chicago 4-1. But
And is this, sorry, I'm going to cut you off here for a second. Is this opening day for the NHL?
yesterday was.
Okay, so the Wild just don't play until the third day.
Correct. Yep. It'll be
I
our
remember
first
that.
game, but it'll be the Rangers' second game.
Yeah, I remember that. That's odd about the the NHL.
I wish
Seems
they'd
like
change up the schedule and even the divisions, because the Metropolitan and the Atlantic and the Central, and I'm not a big fan of how NHL does it.
yeah, we can go like days, especially early in the season between games.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3, 4 days without a game, and that seems odd.
And then you're like every other towards the late of the season sometimes. You want to know
Yeah.
what's odd is that the Panthers in Tampa Bay, so the Florida Panthers, which is down by Miami, their home stadium, and in Tampa Bay, their home rink arena, is part
Mhm.
of the Atlantic Division. Okay, now that division stretches all the way up to almost towards top of New York. That's the farthest northern American team in the NHL, right? But it is split by the Metropolitan Division. So Tampa Bay and the Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers are in the same division as the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay, so let me ask you this question because this is something I legitimately don't know. That makes sense to me. Why that would all be Atlantic Division,
But now,
right?
okay, so split up a little spot in the middle.
But you have the
Boston,
Flyers and Boston and the
Boston's not with the
Capitals.
Flyers though. Boston's with the Atlantic.
Okay.
So it's like right at Boston and like the Islanders. That's where it splits because you got New Jersey Islanders. I mean, there's like 8 teams in a division, but like that little spot, like Carolina to the New Jersey, New York area is the metropolitan, and then you got the top half, which includes some of the Canadian teams, Ottawa,
Montreal.
that are with Buffalo, and
Sure.
then you got Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so like kind of that stretch in the mid-Atlantic, Carolina Hurricanes, Flyers, Penguins, Capitals, they're all in a different division.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
So ours,
But-
and then you have like the Pacific
mhm.
doesn't include. It's got like San Jose Sharks, and it doesn't include Arizona though. Arizona gets wrapped up into the Central, even though it's like right next to LA and Vegas and everything going on over there. They
Yeah.
grab those guys and bring them over to us in the Central. But Detroit is not part of the Central.
So where's
It's
Vegas?
so jacked up, dude. It is so jacked up. It's just Vegas. I'm pretty sure is our division Central.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna throw at you, and I'm interested to see if you know what division this team is in. The Atlanta Thrashers.
They're now the Seattle Kraken. Or no, yes, they're Seattle Kraken. So they're the
Yeah.
Pacific.
Yeah, so that they move like cross country.
Yeah. So
So
Western Conference.
anyway,
Okay. Yeah. Golden Knights are part of the Pacific Division.
sure. Oh, so they are out there,
Yeah.
but they're not much further west than like
But the Coyotes are with us. It
the
just
Coyotes.
it needs to be reorganized. So I mean, get Detroit back with us and kick Coyotes out. Coyotes just need to relocate because I'm pretty sure. I mean, even Phil Kessel didn't want to be there anymore, and he left to go to Vegas because it's such a trash team. But you get a lot of snowbirds that go there that are hockey fans, so it makes sense, right? But
Yeah, are they out? Are they out of Phoenix?
Yep. Back to Prize Picks. Okay, so we were going to
Yes.
talk
Get there.
PGA Prize Picks when we checked earlier this last week. It had PGA stuff, and we were talking about doing a little thing about Prize Picks and PGA and stuff like that, and trying to make a live bet for someone to follow here, but
Mm-hmm.
it switched over to LIV, and I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. I like this. This is going to LIV. And then I was looking through the guys here, and they can see it on my screen right now. You can't. But there's 8 guys on my screen right now. And I'm going to read you off their names, and I'm going to read them in order from first to the end here. First one's
Okay.
Cameron Smith, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka,
Louis Oosthuizen.
Oosthuizen, Patrick Reed, Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, and Abraham Answer.
Answer. Yeah.
So these are familiar names. I mean, you go down to the next line here: Hendrik Stenson, Mark Leishman, Paul Casey, Phil Mickelson. Oh, let's go to the next one: Matthew Wool. I don't know this guy. Adraban Lahari.
Anirban Lahiri?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
come on. He's Anirban. No, he had a win. He had a win on tour decently recently. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah. I mean, he's not nobody.
So let's look at the standings right now. Live Tour through 6 events. Dustin Johnson's in the lead with 121 points. Then you got Brendan Grace, 79 points. Patrick Reed, 76. Cameron Smith, 56.
Played in one event. One event.
2.
Two events? Two
Yep.
events. Okay.
Boston, Chicago. And then you got Charles Schwartzel, Carlos Ortiz, Matthew Wolf, Luis Oosthuizen, Tyler Gooch, number 10, Sergio, 11. So, based off that stuff, we got 2 different types of bets we can make. We can bet strokes, or we can bet birdies or better matchup. And they're all at 0. That's interesting.
Okay, so strokes, like, I think Dustin Johnson's gonna win by 5 strokes.
Nope.
Like that.
So you're going to basically pick over under 67 strokes. Do you think he's going to go over 67 or under 67?
Or this must be in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah. Because obviously it can't be the whole thing. Because
Right.
he's gonna shoot roughly 210 or something. 67. What's the par at this course? Isn't it 72? Is it 36?
You know, I'm going to be honest. Their scorecard is, they don't have a scorecard, so it's actually
that's
terrible
right.
And sucks to try and
'Cause
find.
Blue Golf let us down as we were kind of doing some show prep.
Oh, man.
67. I'm gonna 67 and a half or 67.
Just 67. So if we get a 67, it's a push.
I'm going over.
And I was thinking, so we're going to take Dustin Johnson on the over. And Cameron Smith is at 67 right now. He's played 2 events. He played Chicago, where he went 66, 68, 69.
Mm-hmm. What I think is interesting and what's new and fresh about LIV here is that we don't have a track record. Like, you can easily look at what would be a good example? Quail Hollow. Let's say a tournament in the PGA Tour goes to Quail Hollow. Well, it's a good bet that Rory McIlroy is going to play well there. He's won a major there. He's won a couple of times there in the Wyndham. Like, he plays well at that course. This is so fresh. We don't have a track record for anybody at these courses. So it's hard to say, like, oh, Dustin Johnson always plays well at Royal Greens.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But to that end, if it's a par 72, 67's 5 under. I don't see it. not out of the big names. It seems like if anyone's gonna go real low, it comes from like some nobody who just turns it on for one round
Yeah,
and then
but it's
disappears.
Live Tour. There aren't any nobodies. They're all the biggest names in golf. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay, tell me more about Henny Duplessis. He's a live tour guy. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, I was looking at the Bangkok, their last, so that'd have been the 7th through the 9th when they played last. I was looking at some of
Hey,
these Chichara, Paul
this is a
Casey,
family-friendly
Richard
program. Be
Bland,
careful with phrases like that.
Shawan Kim, James
Pyatt.
Pyatt,
Yeah.
Charles Howell. I mean, I know a lot of these names. You switch me over to PGA, dude, and it's like, okay, who's this? He came out of the Cornhole Cup tour that played D1 for Northwestern.
I
It's
know.
like,
I
what?
know.
Where are
And then
these? Who? And this guy's from South Korea. He's 20 years old, and he won't be able to play golf for 2 years because he has to go into the military. So we're gonna lose him for a little bit, but he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good for a little bit, but once he's gone, he might not come back and be able to golf the same. So,
I know. I know. I know. And then James
so
Naismith over there, inventing basketball and taking second place. It's just not. He's not gonna be. Matthew Naismith is not
I
a big
want
name. I understand. I
I want an
understand.
Ian Poulter, and I'm taking the over. He's not on
You do
here.
not want an Ian Poulter bet because I don't care what tour he's on. He's an old fart. It's over.
That's what I'm saying. I'll take
He's
the over.
done. Oh, you're taking the over. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, but they don't have him on here. How about Sergio on the over?
Oh, but again, he's an old fart.
Sergio, so he went
Time.
his last tournament. He went 68, 72, 68. Again, we're basing this off of the course being a par 72, which we can't confirm if it is or not because we can't find a scorecard of the place. But 68 strokes, he's going over or under. I'm gonna assume this is a 72.
Yeah, if it's Sergio, um, I'm taking the over. If the bet is throwing clubs and complaining about other people, making excuses for his own poor
All right, so
play and
those
behavior.
are two locks. So we're taking Dustin Johnson over 70 or 67, and Sergio over 68. Here, let me read off a
Yeah.
couple of you. Cameron Smith 67, Brooks Koepka 67 and a half, Luis Udenstaden 67
Uzi.
and a half, Usti Uzi 67 and a half, Patrick Reed 67 and a half, DeChambeau 68, Stenson 68, Answer 68, Casey 68, Leishman 68, Phil 69.
Okay, pause. You can bet on Stenson at 68
Yeah.
and on Mickeltits at 69.
Mm-hmm.
Take the over on both of those. That's what I think.
So as of right now, we're taking Dustin Johnson over 67, Sergio over 68, Stenson over 68, Phil over 69.
Yes, that's what I think. Because Phil sucks. It's
You haven't
it's
even watched him play golf.
it's the end of the road for
You,
Phil.
but you haven't even watched him play golf.
But here's the thing, I have, and he sucks. It's over.
Yeah,
It's
Freddie Couples is still golfing. Okay,
no, I get no, but only in the Masters.
VJ Sai is still golfing, and they're putting up respectable numbers.
Phil, at one
Phil
point,
is gonna make cuts, dude.
Phil, no, but he's not. At one point, in over 11 rounds, he was like
Nate,
40 over on Live this year. On the
that's
Live Tour this year, he was
okay.
like 40
That's okay.
over the course of 11 rounds. That's bad golf.
He's not paid like per event. He signed a contract. Like, yeah, maybe he's got some bonuses and stuff like that. So what does he care if he's having a bad day? He's just going to continue to golf. He's not going to get cut.
No. Right. No, I'm with you. I get that. But I'm taking the over on Phil because he's a bad golfer at this point. Like, money aside, I get it. He took the money. I understand. But I'm taking the over on 3 under par. It's not happening. He's a bad player. He's averaging like 4 over par.
You're going to tell me right now that all 4 of these are locks and that I should put $20 on it. If we get all 4 right, it pays us $100.
No. Phil is a lock. I think it's a guaranteed over. Henrik Stenson is an over. Cameron Smith, I don't know what.
We didn't go with Cameron Smith. We got Dustin Johnson, Sergio. Dustin Johnson over 67. Is that a lock?
No.
Okay, we're getting rid of that one then. We're down to 3 players. Is Sergio Garcia over 68 a lock?
This is assuming.
No, let's just do 2. Let's just do 2. Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson over 68, over 69. We'll put $20 on it. We get it right, we win 45.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Entry placed. So, we got 2 minutes left here. We can, next episode, wrap this up with everyone. And tell everyone how our prize picks went. But before we go, I want to rapid fire with you right now.
I would like to confirm one thing, though.
You messed up.
We're talking about first round scores, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. How bad is my mic? Do I need to?
It's bad, but here, I'm going to run through this really quick. Commanders at Bears. Who do you got?
Commanders at Bears. This is a bad deal.
We got 2 minutes.
The Bears.
Ravens at Giants.
Oh, Baltimore.
Jags at Colts.
Jags.
Patriots at Browns.
Patriots.
Bengals.
No. Browns.
Bengals at Saints.
Oh, Jameis Winston's going to eat a W.
Bucks at Steelers.
Bucks.
Duh. 49ers at Falcons.
49ers.
Jets in Lambeau.
Jets in Lambeau. Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Vikings at Dolphins. No Tua. Tua's out with a concussion.
No Tua, no Teddy. Believe me, my fantasy team.
We're running out of time.
Vikes.
Panthers at Rams.
Rams.
Cardinals at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Bills at Chiefs.
Oh, that's a game. Holy cow, Bills.
Cowboys at Eagles.
Oh, that's going to be fun too. Boys.
Broncos at Chargers.
Chargers.
All right. I like it. I liked a lot of those picks. I got Philly, though. Hey, thanks for another great episode, another great night, man. You have a good night. We'll, next week, Wednesday, huh?
Cool. Sorry about the mic.
All right. Later, guys.